And a hello to you, each and every one of you. It's fall. It is officially fall. This is Wednesday, the 22nd day of September. It is officially fall today. Fi- And it's starting to feel that way too. There's definitely no mistaking of today with summer weather. We've had a cold front come through, and and it's definitely going to be cool for the next couple of days. But don't you worry, the heat will return. The heat is slated to return pretty soon here. Well, this is Wednesday, the 22nd. Back on Sunday, I made a video. And on this video, I did it to help out my local people around here. And the reason that we thought we might need to do something to help the local people here is because we've had a little shakeup in our community. Because our local radio station, as I put it on the video, our radio station turned 65 years old this year. Started broadcasting in 1956, and this is 2021. So, like I said, you do the quick math, you do the slow math, but just so long as you do the correct math, you'll wind up 65. And so what's happened? Well, I've described it as, well, what generally happens at age 65. You retire and leave the business and leave it to the young whippersnappers. Well, WLIV, our local radio station, was sold to a company out of Cookeville called Stonecom. And Stonecom just essentially just made everything got cleared away, and they just came in and actually started the full bore takeover. I mean, there's been stuff in the works for a while, but now it's official, and now they are 100% at the wheel of things, and they have made some changes. Now, as I pointed out in the video, WLIV has operated on what I call the robo-jock basis, as in what I call light the fuse, run away, satellite automation. They've been doing that for part of the day for several years now. What's essentially happened as of this past couple or 3 weeks or so is that automation has expanded for the rest of the broadcast day. Excuse me. And there have been some changes that have happened as this has been taking place, as the takeover's gone, and change. Change does not go over very well. Generally, change does not go over much at all. And there's been a lot of well-known programs and programming that's gone by. There's been some shuffling around of some things. There's some flux that's still in the air. So if there's anything I would urge you is probably a little bit of patience, because I guess there's still some stuff that they're working out. And so maybe here in just a little while things will gel and you'll get a better idea about broadcasting and programming and all that. Now, I made a video, and I was in radio. I was in radio for almost a dozen years, and I used some of my experience to help explain to you folks some of the things that's been going on and some of the things that are happening. And I kind of figured that this would happen, that they would do this. But anyway, like I said, I made this video to kind of help out. And I'm making this video because there's a couple of things that I don't think we covered, and it probably would not be a bad idea to cover them. Okay, now the first thing that I thought about is something that I did at the very last of the video. I typed a little bit of something on there, and I made the suggestion to Stonecom. It was an attempt to make a suggestion to Stonecom. That suggestion is that to look into maybe getting with some satellite company of a gospel network, a gospel music, southern gospel or country gospel, to fill out the rest of the hours of a Sunday afternoon. Just before 1 o'clock, the gospel programming came to an end, and they went back into the regular country music, and I thought that might be just a little bit abrupt, because normally you've been going back to robo-jock radio and the country music format at 5 o'clock on every day, and that includes Sunday. So I just thought it might be a nice gesture, a nice thing to do. But then I thought about it a little bit, and I reasoned a little bit, and it hit me that maybe that's not right. Maybe that's not necessarily a reasonable thing. And the reason that I say that it may not necessarily be a reasonable thing, well, it gets back to something I may have talked about. The idea about barter. That, a company that has a company that has radio product to put on the air, that's on satellite, that they want to bring down to stations that run on the air, they will do I've heard tales told that they will do barter arrangements. And by barter arrangements, we mean if you promise to run a certain amount of spots from the network, they will let you run they'll license you to run. And furthermore, they may very well likely send you the the receiver box, just send it to you. Now, simply finishing out a Sunday of gospel programming with some Southern gospel music off of a network, and you're talking like maybe 3 hours or so. That's not much. So so even if you could find a network that has Southern gospel music or country gospel music like they used to play at the old radio station, I don't know if they would go for that. And so anyway, there that is, clearing that thing up. And and when I talked about the radio station, I said, nobody's there. And that's primarily in reference to the control room, which is where the DJs work. And that's primarily true there. But I'm not talking about the whole radio station. If you go to the radio station during business hours, there will be somebody there. It's not a total ghost town, okay? So just to get that clear. And that could be very helpful information to know here in like a couple of seconds or so. All right. Now, one thing that we were talking about is, like I said, the control room is probably going to be deserted most of the time. But if they're running a ball game, there will be somebody there physically working the board because, like I said, you can't automate a ball game. Despite, your suspicions about the authenticity of the outcome by sportsmanship. And that led me to remember, I never said this on the video. Something some of you folks may have been missing over the last couple or 3 weeks is your UT football game. They're not running UT football on WLIV. For years and years and years they did, but they're not now. So why is that? Well, it goes back to Stonecom. Stonecom owns several stations, including, this one right here. Even though this is not current logo, this is not current format. Anyway, Kicks 106, Kicks Country. Kicks Country is owned by Stonecom, and Kicks Country is the station where Stonecom does run UT football. Now, the reason you're not hearing it on WLIV is just simply this. Stonecom does not want to compete against itself. They've got UT football on their big, loud, booming FM station. It will cost you more money to advertise on that big, booming FM than it will cost you to advertise on our little bitty hometown radio station. And Stonecom wants to make the most that they can off of UT football. And UT football is a big draw and certainly looked at to be a big money maker. So obviously Stonecom wants to get the biggest bang for their bucks, or the biggest bucks for their bang, or whatever. So that's why you haven't heard UT football on your local radio station here. And if you're like some UT fans and you've already bailed on football season and you're looking forward to basketball season when, Rick Barnes won't drive you crazy. Well, I'm afraid WLIV will not be your huckleberry there either. Because Stonecom also owns Rock 93.7. And Rock 93.7 is the station on which they run UT basketball. So again, don't want to compete with herself. So if you're looking for UT basketball, you'll want to tune to Rock 93.7 at time for the game, because that's when you'll be able to hear it. And then there's what we said about the Sunday, about Sunday afternoon, about how abruptly you go back to country music and trying to figure out what can you do. Well, like I said, a gospel network might not be a great answer. The answer may more lie with you, the folks of Overton County, you the folks in Livingston, you church folks in Livingston, Tennessee, because you know what you could do? You could expand the gospel programming by trying to get on the air. Like maybe record a service and run that service, but see if you can get on the air to run your service or a rebroadcast of your service. You could get your preacher perhaps to deliver a message, do a study for a quarter hour, half hour. If you're an evangelist and you don't have a pulpit that you pastor, this could be your opportunity. This could be a forum for you to get out and get the word out and preach. A regular gig on the radio. It's something to think about. And then music, maybe, just maybe, you could possibly maybe get an individual or a church to possibly sponsor a block of time to be devoted to music. It's entirely possible. I have done that for folks. I have played blocks of gospel music on secular radio stations because people sponsored it. As far as that goes, it's like this. You throw money at a radio station, you'll be surprised at the things you can do. Now, I know that kind of sounded a little awkward, like it makes radio sound a little sleazy, and, well, there are some folks and some stations, but not, never mind that. I don't want to make StoneCon sound sleazy, because they're not. They're reasonably decent as far as people, as far as doing business with, as far as I know of, as far as the business wise goes, and I know they want to do good with you. So, like I said earlier, just give them some patience. I'm sure there's still some stuff in flux. And like I said, perhaps you could look to partner with them for some broadcasting. Well, anyway, like I said, I wanted to do a quick follow-up video. I don't know exactly how quick was, but I guess we'll find out here in just a couple of seconds. So, y'all have a good day, and happy fall, y'all.